Thinking in English is one of the most powerful and effective ways to become fluent in the language, and while it may seem difficult at first, with consistent practice, anyone can achieve it. When you begin to think in English, you stop translating from your native language in your mind, and instead, you start processing and understanding words, sentences, and ideas directly in English. This means you can speak more fluently, write more clearly, and understand more quickly without the need to mentally switch languages all the time. One way to start thinking in English is to begin with small and simple thoughts. For example, when you wake up in the morning, instead of thinking, "I need to brush my teeth," in your native language, try to say it in English inside your head. You can think, "I'm going to the bathroom, I have to brush my teeth, where is my toothpaste?" Small and simple thoughts like this help train your brain to operate in English. Throughout the day, you can practice this with other routines. "I am making tea, it's a sunny day, I have a meeting at 3 p.m., and so on. These thoughts might seem ordinary, but they're the foundation of fluent thinking and speaking. Another method to train your brain to think in English is to name things around you in English. Look at the objects you see daily and say their names in English in your mind: table, chair, ceiling fan, window, pen, notebook, mobile phone. The more you do this, the more comfortable your brain becomes with the English vocabulary, and over time, you won't need to translate anymore. Instead of seeing a chair and thinking the word in your mother tongue, your brain will immediately recognize it as chair. That's a powerful sign of progress. Talking to yourself in English is also very helpful. You don't need to speak out loud if you feel shy, just have an inner conversation with yourself. For example, if you're walking to the market, think, "I need to buy vegetables today," or "I should get some apples and tomatoes." While cooking, you can mentally say, "I'm chopping onions, now I'm adding spices, the rice is boiling." This is a great way to connect everyday actions with the English language. If you keep doing this, your brain will get used to functioning in English naturally. Another useful practice is describing what you see and what's happening around you. Suppose you're at a bus stop, look around and describe the scene in your mind in English. There are many people waiting for the bus, a man is talking on the phone, the weather is cloudy today, I hope the bus arrives soon. This description habit helps you practice sentence formation and also builds your observation skills while strengthening your vocabulary and grammar. Thinking in English becomes more powerful when you also include your emotions and opinions. For instance, if you are feeling happy, think, "I'm feeling so good today." Or if you are tired, say in your mind, "I need some rest, today was exhausting." Express your thoughts, feelings, hopes, and fears in English to build fluency at a deeper level. Start asking yourself questions in English and answering them mentally. What should I do today? I think I'll study English for 1 hour. What did I eat for breakfast? I had toast and eggs. These small habits help you turn your brain into an English thinking machine. Use your imagination to create short stories in your mind in English. Pretend you are explaining your day to a friend, or imagine you are being interviewed and answering questions in English. The more you imagine using English in real situations, the more prepared and fluent you'll become. One very effective trick is to start using English as your default for internal dialogues. When you are making decisions, analyzing a situation, or thinking about the past or future, do it all in English. At first, this might feel slow and unnatural, but as you continue practicing daily, you'll notice that thinking in English starts to become automatic. You'll begin to dream in English, react in English, and respond in English without needing to translate. This automatic thinking is the sign of true fluency. To support this transformation, surround yourself with English as much as possible. Listen to English music, podcasts, and audiobooks. Watch English movies, shows, and YouTube videos. Read English books, blogs, and articles. The more your brain is exposed to the sounds, structure, and rhythm of English, the easier it becomes to think in the language. Another great tip is to keep a daily English diary. Every night, before you sleep, write a few sentences about your day in English. This forces your brain to recall events and express them in English words, which is an excellent thinking and writing exercise. Even if you make mistakes, don't worry, mistakes are part of learning. What matters most is consistency. You can also try speaking English with friends, teachers, or language partners. But even if no one is around, keep practicing mentally. In fact, some language learners become fluent just by practicing alone with internal dialogues and thoughts. Thinking in English is not about being perfect, it's about developing fluency and comfort. You don't have to use difficult grammar or complicated vocabulary. Start simple. Use basic words and clear sentences. For example, instead of thinking, I am wondering if I should reconsider my options, just think, should I change my plan? Keep it natural and clear. As your vocabulary grows, your thoughts will become richer. And as your grammar improves, your internal sentences will become more accurate. Another helpful technique is to shadow English speech. Listen to short English clips and repeat the words as you hear them, trying to match the speaker's tone and pace. This trains your brain and mouth to connect directly in English, bypassing the need for translation. Eventually, the speed and fluency you hear from native or fluent speakers will begin to influence your own thinking patterns. You'll start to think faster, express more, and struggle less. Motivation is key. Keep reminding yourself why you want to learn English. Maybe it's for a job, a dream, travel, or education. The more you believe in the value of English, the more energy you'll invest in thinking in it. Also, be patient with yourself. At first, your brain will resist. It's normal. Your native language is your comfort zone, and switching to English requires effort. But don't give up. Just like building muscles at the gym, building mental strength in English requires repetition. Even 5 minutes a day of conscious English thinking can make a huge difference over weeks and months. You may start by thinking only basic thoughts in English. Slowly, your brain will allow deeper and more complex thinking in English. Over time, you'll develop the ability to solve problems, make plans, and understand emotions, all in English. That's when English becomes part of you, not just a subject you study. Another way to strengthen your English thinking is to label your experiences. For example, if you're happy, think happy. If you're nervous, think nervous. Describe your mental state in simple words. This will help you express emotions better. You can also practice daily routines like planning your to-do list in English, checking the time and saying it mentally in English, counting in English, reading headlines and forming opinions in English. Every action becomes a chance to think in English. Also, when you make mistakes, laugh at them and learn. Don't be afraid to think wrong sentences, just try, and over time, you'll self-correct. Thinking in English is not only useful for communication but also builds confidence. When you think fluently, speaking becomes easier. Your mouth follows what your mind says. The hesitation goes away. You don't freeze when someone asks you something in English because your mind is already prepared. Also, thinking in English improves listening skills. You recognize words faster because you're used to how they sound and how they are used. Everything becomes faster, you're listening, speaking, understanding, reading, and even writing. When you start thinking in English, your progress in all other skills becomes faster. It creates a strong foundation for advanced fluency. You begin to enjoy English. It no longer feels like a foreign language. It feels like a tool, a friend, a partner. You start dreaming in English, joking in English, even getting angry in English, and when that happens, you know you've truly mastered the ability to think in English. So, start small, be consistent, use your daily life as your learning ground, and trust that every thought you have in English is a step closer to fluency.